The government says it's changing labor and employment rules to cut red tape for employers and provide support for employees. Some of the notable changes include prohibiting employers from withholding tips from their employees, limiting when employers can request sick notes, and extending leave provision to include sick leave, maternity leave, interpersonal violence leave, and bereavement leave. The government says the changes are also meant to modernize systems on a continual basis.
Our legislation requires us to look at every part of the act every 5 years. And so because there's so many parts, it's a large piece of legislation. We're always in the process of reviewing different elements of the act. And so this is again part of that regular review to make sure that the legislation remains modern.
The Saskatchewan Federation of Labor says it asked for employment standards to be reviewed last year. President Lori Jobe says she was pleasantly surprised that some of the group's demands were heard.
I think there's a few things that are good. I really will say that, and I'm very glad to see it. There's other things. Making things easier for employers often has the opposite effect on working people, so I'd need to look at that a little bit closer. But
one of the biggest changes Jobe noticed was the changes to tipping. For years, tips were not governed by any laws in Saskatchewan. Jobe says it was deplorable that employers would take away the tips of working people, and she's glad that has now changed.
When they're going to work and having their employer take their tips, there's really something wrong with that. So that is a good step in the right direction. We want to make sure that people that are working and doing the work for, in service or working for these employers, the employers keep their hands off their tips.
Jobe says she's hoping for more amendments in the future, including a higher minimum wage. Jeffrey Tram, CBC News, Regina.